It's Mad G, making moves, flipping real estate. We building wealth, get your minds right and elevate. Yo, it's the mortgage king, we do it truly, bro. Dropping gems like a thief up in the jewelry cell. Wealth building equity in real estate, the mission. Collaboration is greater than competition.
What's good, King?
What's going on, man?
You already know. Jermain Miller, the man, the myth, the legend, the author of, let's show the book, kid.
Wake Up and Win.
Wake Up and Win.
Wake Up and Win. Took me 2 years to write this book, 1 year when I got serious.
Okay.
And the forward is by the legendary man himself, Mr. Les Brown, or you know him as Les Brown. You gotta be hungry!
Look, you just mentioned something interesting about this Wake Up and Win. It took you 2 years, bro?
Yeah, it took me 2 years, man. It was crazy because when I first started writing the book, it was just kind of like a thought. Like, it's like, oh, everybody wants to write a book. But what I'm realizing is a lot of people want to be an author. A lot of people don't want to be a published author. I wasn't definite. So every day I'm writing, then take me 6 months to write again, 3 weeks to write again. But I was going through some things in life. I think I was going through one of the most challenging times in my life, actually. A lot of things going on. And I said, all right, regardless of what's going on, that's probably going to always be there, or a circumstance may always be there, but I got a purpose. This purpose means this book. So while it took me 2 years to kind of formulate the process, it only took me like 1 year to really get this book down packed and get it out.
During that year of formulating the process, like, what exactly did you go through from a mental standpoint that led up to that second year now, you was ready to turn the corner?
Well, I mean, obviously business. I think I got hit from every angle, right? Business, relationship, children, family, all those kind of things kind of hit me at one time. And it's funny because one of my favorite quotes by George Bernard Shaw, he said, people always blaming the circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people that get on in this world are the people who get up, they look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they make them. So here I am, I got circumstances I really don't want, but I'm like, you know what? What will my life be like if I really accomplish this goal, regardless of what's going on? I talked about that in Wake Up and Win. There's a chapter called Truth Despite Your Appearances. The truth is, we can accomplish everything, we can do, we can have, we can be anything we desire to be, but the problem is we're always caught up in the appearance of things, right? I don't decide what I really want out of life until what I don't want appears.
Yeah.
So now I'm going through family issues, I'm going through financial issues, I'm going through business issues, I'm going through all those things. And most people say, you know what, let me put my goal and my dream on the shelf. Let me focus on this stuff that's going on right now. Right, and then it's like when I clear all this stuff up, then I'll go after my dreams, or then I'll go after my goals. And I said, you know what, if I don't do this now, biggest question you always want to ask yourself is, if I don't do this now, where will I be in 5 years from now? That's always the major key. Always the major key.
So you didn't let none of the everyday life, the lemons, basically.
Right.
You turned your lemons into lemonade.
Right.
And your lemonade was Wake Up and Win.
My lemonade was Wake Up and Win.
So, all right. So I'm interested in this because, I want to write a book.
Right.
And that's something that I've been talking to you about. And I don't know how to write a book.
Right.
I can't process this in my brain, and I'm really seriously, like, I be taking notes. My man Ash Cash, shout out to Ash Cash. He be dropping gems on me about the book writing process.
I seen a couple of things he dropped.
He's phenomenal with that in that space also. But I still have like this block that's stopping me. Like, how did you get through that block?
Right, and it's funny that we always think that there's some kind of opposing force or something that's actually stopping us from accomplish something. We got a wall up, we got opposition, we got adversity, we got all these things, these challenges, these setbacks or whatever. But most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low, and that's what they're hitting. So when we're talking about writing a book, you got to ask yourself, what type of person do I need to become in order to achieve this dream of mine? And when you ask yourself that question, The answer is usually I gotta become a different type of person when it comes down to my time, when it comes down to my effort, when it comes down to my discipline, when it comes down to my patience, when it comes down to my organization. If I'm not in line to do this, hey, listen, everything is always gonna pop up.
Yeah.
How much time are you willing, or how much time are you willing to give to things that have absolutely nothing to do with it? In fact, I was at a real estate office today, and I was talking about that with these guys, coach hundreds of real estate agents and stuff like that. But what we do is we spend major time on minor things.
Major time
right?
on minor
And we
things.
have to learn how to spend major time on major things. What's major time on major things? I'm going after my goals. I'm going after my dreams. I'm going after the ideas. I'm going after my vision. I'm going after all of the things that I really want for myself.
Yeah.
Spending major time on minor things is day-to-day stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with my dreams.
Yes, you know what? That's where I get twisted at, right? The minor things.
Right.
The minor things, the minutiae is what I like
Right,
to call it.
right.
I get caught in that minutia or caught in that matrix of the foolishness.
Right.
When I should either delegate that foolishness and focus on those major things, but sometimes it's just so hard. Like when you're running your businesses, family, everything that you're doing, it's just like, damn, how do I get back now to the place where I need to be to focus
Right.
on this? That's the biggest challenge that I'm having with me going through my book journey right now.
Right.
Like I just woke up one day saying, I need to write a book. Jermain got books, Ash Cash got books.
Right.
Everybody keeps saying, yo, Matt, write a book, write a book,
Right.
write a book. It sounds easier said than done, and I know it's something that there's a need for it. From my lens, I just don't know how to do it.
Right.
Like I just don't know how to stop focusing on those minor things and focus on major things.
Well, I mean, you got to understand it's a process, right? The first thing is you want to be definite about what it is that you want to accomplish. A lot of people have goals. Very few people are willing to give something in exchange for the goal. So you got to be definite. You got to make a decision. This is what I want to accomplish. They say indecision is a decision, but it's just a decision to fail. So when we talk about making a decision, you could say, yeah, I do want to do it, but I'm indecisive about what it is that I want. So you got to decide. That's number one. This is what I want to accomplish. Number two, you got to write it down. You know, this is exactly what I want. When you talk about mortgages, you're in the mortgage industry, you're talking to people who may develop properties and all that stuff. In order for you to build something, guess what they're gonna ask you first? Where's your architectural drawings? Where's your renderings? Where's your plans?
Yeah.
You can't go to life without any plans, because if you do, life is gonna give you whatever it is that you don't plan for.
Exactly.
Right? So you gotta write it down, and then you gotta give yourself deadline. And a lot of people don't wanna give themselves deadlines because somewhere in this deadline that we've given ourselves throughout the course of our life, we keep failing to meet those deadlines. And if we do something, we want it to happen right away. So you're like, yo, look, I'm gonna write this book, but I need to write this book in a month. I need to write this book in a week.
I said that shit to you too.
Right.
I was like, yo,
Right.
I'm gonna have this joint out by the Vegas seminar.
Right. And
Dude,
then the Vegas seminar came
one.
up.
That's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
That was
But-
episode 1.
Right. So that's the thing. So you got to be definite. You want to write a book. You want to buy a home. You want to save money. You want to get your credit score up. You want to have a happy, healthy family, your business thriving, all that stuff. You got to be definite. This is what I want.
Yeah.
And it has to be clear. That's the whole writing things down. And then the deadline is powerful because here's the problem. Most of us, we overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year, underestimate what we can accomplish in 5.
Wait, hold on. So what you said? Say that again. You said
We overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year. 365 day, we put all these goals down on a piece of paper. I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna save my money, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna get an 800 credit score, I'm gonna buy a home, I'm gonna go back to school, I'm gonna get out of debt, all this stuff, and we're trying to do it in 365 days. Right? Instead of saying, you know what does this look like for me if I spreaded this out in 5 years? So we overestimate in 1 year, then all of the stuff that we don't accomplish, we got these rollover goals. Remember AT&T had like those rollover minutes?
Yeah.
But here's what we
Rollover
do.
goals?
We've been rolling over our goals since the early 90s.
Damn it.
Year 2000, we rolling over stuff, and now these goals, they not like, man, it's called a law of diminishing intent. What I intend to do when I was motivated, I didn't do that 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 2 weeks ago, or a few months ago. Now, when I think about going after this goal, there's no motivation for me. You ever been there before?
Absolutely.
It's like, yo, you know what? I said I was gonna go to the gym January 1st.
I've been saying that shit for like 2 years.
And now, 2 years later,
I'm
it's
still
so
fat.
hard. It's so hard for me to get to the
I'm
gym.
still fat.
That's the law of diminishing intent. So
Okay.
that's why it's important for you to be clear about this. One of my favorite things to tell people now is idealization plus visualization equals materialization. What that means is I gotta have an idea, I have to have a goal, I have to have something worthwhile I'm going after, and then I have to constantly see myself doing it before it materializes, right? Napoleon Hill says in a great book, Think and Grow Rich, he says, if you can't hold it in your mind, these things that you want for your life, you'll never have it in your bank account.
Never have it in your bank.
And that's not just with the money, but it's just with the happiness, it's with the peace, it's with the love, it's the joy, it's all of the extra things that nobody's really talking about. But if you can't hold it here, because you're erratic, all things are all over the place. 1 minute I'm going after this, next minute I'm going after that. You gotta be disciplined, you gotta be definite, you gotta set a deadline.
What was those 3 things again?
So you gotta be definite about what it is that you want. You gotta be clear. Concrete, can't be no foggy goals this year. No more foggy goals, right? It's gotta be like, look, this is what I want. You gotta write it down. Number one reason why people don't achieve their goals, it's not written down nowhere. Or if they did write it down, they wrote it down, put it in a piece of paper, put it in there in a drawer somewhere. And every 7 months they look at it like it's a museum situation, right? So you wanna write your goals down. You wanna set a deadline. There's gotta be some kind of date that you put yourself on. And the deadline don't have to be in stone. Because that's another reason why we're not doing anything. Because it's like, all right, Jermain says set deadline, so I'm gonna put March 3rd. And when my dream ain't here, it's March 3rd, 2020, my dream ain't here. What's this man talking about?
Yeah.
Setting deadlines.
Yeah.
But you have to realize that a goal causes you to become a different type of person in order for you to achieve it. So most of us are saying we want this, but we're not willing to become the person to attract that to us.
Yeah.
So if you're still the same, our life is just a direct reflection of everything that's going on inside of us.
Yeah.
So I'm just a mirror, or I'm just a magnet to all the things that's going on in my life. So I need to be definite this year. Need to be definite. You need to be definite about your dreams, your goals, all the things you want to accomplish. The stuff has to be written down, whether you want to put it in your office, in your car, on a board in your house where you can see it every single day. That's when the thing starts to become a burning desire. That's when you start spending time with this thing, right?
Yeah.
That's when you start seeing this thing over and over until you can feel yourself touching it, believing it, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. But that word believe there is really feeling. Whatever the mind can conceive and feel, then I could achieve it.
That's a fact.
Right? And so then after you set your deadline, you want to write things down of all of the things you want to accomplish. Now, before we were writing down maybe a couple of goals, but here's what you want to do. You want to make a list of all of the things that you want to accomplish. And the reason why you want to make a list is you want to set this as though it were impossible for you to fail. Right? These are the things that we're afraid to do. We are afraid to write goals down and all of the things that we want to do, all the things we want to have, all the things we want to be, because guess what? My self-imposed limitation says, well, I really want to earn $1 million a year or $1 million a month, but you know what? As long as my bills is paid and I make 50,000, I'll settle for that.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to write this list down, and then you want to organize the list. And when you're organizing this list, the reason why you want to organize this list is because you want to focus on one goal first. That's spending major time on major things. When I finally decided to write Wake Up and Win, I said, you know what? I don't care what happens in 2019. I'm spending all my time doing this. And all I did was see myself in possession of this book, giving it out, signing autographs, taking pictures with people. That's the only thing I did.
And that
And I
kept you
spent
going.
time with my manuscript every day.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I took action.
So how many hours did you put in, like, per day, right, to put this together?
To put it together, I would say there were some days I would spend 6 hours writing. 'Cause I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a writer. I didn't know like how to start, where to start, what to do. But you don't have to be great to start.
Yeah,
you just gotta start to be great.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
And learn from it.
And learn from it.
And this is your first book.
And that's my first book.
How the hell did you get the world famous Les Brown to forward this book?
I mean, that story is in itself
That's
a
dope.
shocking situation
Yeah, that's
myself.
dope. Les is a
Every day.
legend.
Les is a legend. And, you know, for people who don't know the story, I had went to a Get Motivated seminar. One of those big, huge seminars, right? And I drove to Philadelphia one year, and I sat in the audience, and I remember getting this ticket. They told me I was going to be able to take pictures with Les Brown. I'm like, man, Les Brown wrote Live Your Dreams. He helped me get out of being homeless and all the things I was going through.
Yeah.
I got to tell him about my story. Like, I got a story to tell. I think a lot of people are like that. They're like, yo, Les turned our whole life around, right?
Absolutely.
I want to tell him. So here I am. I'm excited, right? I'm sitting in the audience. They like, all right, it's time to take pictures with Les Brown. I jump up. I'm ready to go take pictures with Les Brown. They go, hey, hold on a minute. You can't take pictures with Les Brown. I'm like, what are you talking about? They like, you got the platinum package. Only the titanium people could go. And I'm like, what? Like, you don't understand.
That
I've been
titanium.
I'm trying to.
They had a whole nother level.
And I'm like, yo, are you kidding me? I'm like, well, I'll give you everything I got to upsell to. It's too late now.
Wow.
So I go sit back in my seat. And as I'm sitting in my seat, I said, you know what? Maybe I'm not supposed to be in Les's life as a picture taker. Maybe I'm supposed to be in his life as a son. I became definite that day. I said, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I stored his name in my phone. And I said, one day he's gonna call me. And when he calls me, the first thing he's gonna say is, son. And that day is the day I'm gonna store his number in my phone. And this is why I want you to focus on never trying to figure out the how-to, only decide what it is that you want. Because once you decide what you want, the how-to always appears. But that's the problem, we're so indecisive.
Power of manifestation.
Exactly. So I put his name in my phone, and then 2.5 years later, I get a phone call from Mr. Les Brown. And he's like, son, we got a lot of work to do together. That was the first call I ever got from him. He called me directly, Mr. Les Brown.
That's crazy.
Stored his name right in my phone. Life ain't been the same since.
That's crazy.
But what's so crazy is that 2 years, the 2 years that I was stalling was not really a stall. It was for me to develop the relationship with Les Brown so the forward was easy for him to write.
That's dope. That's dope. Les Brown, the man, the myth, the legend.
Man, the myth, the legend, man.
The power of manifestation.
Power manifestation.
It all worked out. Now you're doing an event with Les Brown.
Now I'm doing the Wake Up and Win event
Oh my God.
with Les Brown. And let me tell you, I've been dreaming about doing a conference with Les Brown. Like I always, and we've talked about this over and over and over, but to get Les Brown to come in town, to pay him money and pay and then have this crazy event, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars
Absolutely.
to do a big event for him to come to. And so I kept like procrastinating on that. Finally, I woke up one morning, I was like, that's it. It's the Wake Up and Win conference. We gotta put this together. And I'm not taking no for an answer. And even through like some of his channels and the people that I gotta talk to get to him, because I can talk to him directly, but I still gotta talk to people
To the business
to
people.
do the business people and all
Yeah.
that. That was a challenge for months.
Yeah.
Until finally, after I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep going after it until I get what I want.
Yeah.
And it finally happened April 29th, 2020, New York, Sheridan, Times Square. It's gonna be a busy day today.
What is it, from 9 to 5 or something like
It's
that?
from 9 to 5, the Wake Up and Win conference. We have a plethora of phenomenal speakers. Obviously, the greatest speaker of all time, the world-renowned Les Brown. Myself is gonna be there. Another one of my very great close friends, Byron Nelson, he made millions in network marketing, millions, travels the country, close friends with Russell Branson, the owner of Virgin America, teaching
Yeah.
people how to create wealth in business. Our little brother, Brandon Medford,
Yeah.
PTG.
Shout out to PTG.
Shout out to PTG.
We're gonna see them later
We're gonna
tonight.
see them later tonight. They doing big things. I added you to the event,
Yes.
MG, the mortgage guy.
The mortgage guy in the building.
We got a lot of other
The
people,
mortgage
people who are
guy will be on the
successful.
same stage as Les Brown.
Right, we got a lot of other people that are successful.
That's
How
dope.
to write a book. We talk about people like that. How to make money by having a virtual assistant. There are people making millions of dollars doing stuff like that. So I mean, a host of other speakers, man. It's just a wealth of information, wealth of knowledge.
That's dope, man. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the lineup is sick.
Right.
I'm just honored to be a part of that.
Of course.
To say that I've spoken on the same stage as Les, that's like something I would have never thought in a million
Right,
years. I remember when we went to the event
In the city.
in the city.
Right.
This was probably like 2-3 years ago.
Oh,
I don't even
yeah,
remember.
4 years. I think no, 3 years. 3 years
About
ago. 3 years ago.
right? And just sitting at the table with him and just holding court with him before the manager
Right.
was doing her
Right,
thing.
doing her thing, right.
Yeah, but to have that 15, 20-minute break bread session with him and the gems that he dropped
It's
in like
unbelievable.
a short period of time.
Right, it's unbelievable.
It's like this dude is automatic with
Automatic.
it. So I'm looking forward to that. What else you got going on, bro?
So the second book, The Power of a Mindset Switch, that's coming out right before the event. I'll probably have that out the April 20th. Power of a Mindset Switch. Is funny
So
because
right before the event.
Right before the event.
Smart.
It's funny. I took 2 years to write this book. Took 2 months to write the second one. So that's called a law of compensation. You pay your dues in one area, everything else gets better the next time
That's
you
what
do
Tooks
something.
be trying to tell me. He be like, yo, go buy this microphone. You buy it once.
Right.
It's an investment.
Right.
Buy this now. I'm like, dude, but you still got to buy it.
Right. So we got that coming along. We're doing a 10-city tour that will probably start, obviously, the Wake Up and Win conference in New York, and then 10 cities after that.
Dope.
So I'm finally get to live that dream, to be able to go on a road with the greatest, and just building our legacy. I'm still coaching. I'm still consulting Fortune 500 companies, still speaking. I was at a community event this past Sunday. It was about 150 homeless people. They all got off cheese buses from the homeless shelter.
Damn.
And I'm motivating these guys to go after their dreams and their goals. I'm still getting down with the people.
Yeah, you rolling up your sleeves.
I'm rolling up my sleeves.
Yeah, you got to, man. I mean, look, everybody deserves a shot and an opportunity. And just because, anybody can be in that situation.
Right, just like that.
Just like that, life happens, and you can't look down upon those folks. And if they were there to get that motivation, hopefully it triggers something
Right.
to where they can change their life around, because no one wants to be like homeless.
No, sometimes, and to be honest with you, man, sometimes you have to go on somebody else's belief of you until your own belief kicks in.
Agreed.
Because we believe things are possible, and you can look at those people in their eyes. They know, like, I could have a better life, I could do better things. I know I can. They're like, I believe it's possible. I just don't believe it's possible for me.
Yeah.
Right? So we got these self-imposed limitations all my life. You have no idea. I've been going through this, this. I feel like there's no way out, so I don't really believe it. And it only takes that one person to come in and say, hey, listen, I've been there before. This is how you turn it around.
Yeah. And that one person sparked that in that person, and now that person could probably spark something
Exactly.
in someone else.
And that's
It's
the
domino effect.
That's the domino effect.
Yeah.
But the thing that's so powerful about that is you have an audience. And this is one thing I was talking to Les about. I was like flipping out one time. I'm like, how's this person got all these followers and he talks like this, and this person's got all these followers and he talks like this? And he's like, Jermain, listen, there is X amount of people in this world. The people who need to hear your voice, they're gonna hear your voice and flock to you. Don't try to speak to the other people's audience. Speak what you gotta speak, and the people who need to hear you will hear you. Just like you got your audience, I got my audience.
Yeah.
This guy has his audience. Everybody has their own audience, and when we realize that, then we don't have to change our message or try to be like somebody else. We're just speaking who we are from our heart, and those people that need to hear us, those are the people that'll gravitate to us.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed. Listen, man, vlog. Pick up the book, man. Wake Up and Win. I'm going to put in the description, I'm going to put a link here for you guys, man. It's a phenomenal read. Wake Up and Win Conference, April 29th.
29th.
Your boy will be speaking, Les Brown, my guy Brandon Medford from PTG 365, and a whole slew of others. So make sure you guys get your tickets. I'm gonna put the tickets in the description as well. Tell them how to follow you, bro.
You can follow me on all social media handles. I made it very easy. It's Jermain Miller, JermainMiller on all social media handles. It is the same. Please go support your brother, author, speaker, coach. Wake Up and Win is at Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, Kindle. Wake Up and Win, forward by the #1 motivational speaker of our generation, time, in the world, Leslie Calvin Brown, also known as Les Brown. I hope to see you at the Wake Up and Win conference. In fact, anybody who is interested in going to this event, make sure you reach out to Matt, because Matt is going to be giving discounted tickets to get to the event. But only Matt has those tickets if you reach out to him.
I like the way that sounds. Y'all better go ahead and get that. You know, we like a discount over here.
You know it.
We don't pay retail for anything.
You know it.
Let's do it. My brother.
My brother.
I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the
All
coaching
love.
session.
It's the mortgage king, we do it truly, bro. Dropping gems like a thief up in the jury cell. Wealth building equity in real estate, the mission. Collaboration is greater than competition.